So she wants, her study is longitudinal. First of all, when you're playing with alerts, your syntax can be different depending on what you want to do than if it's non-longitudinal. Right. So there's been inconsistency in sending and then failing to send emails to participants. I'm not sure if I have that in here, but I was able to. I started out just wanting to test an alert. So this is a little bit complicated, and I probably should use the instruments for events. It's a better visualization. So they want to, when this ESS survey has been created or has been filled out, they want 14 days of daily instruments sent out. And then what I forgot to ask, which I should have, which is when they finish the 14th, or is it 14 days later or 15 days later, whichever you want to say, do you want to trigger this ESS? These are all auto continue, as you can see, but then they want daily instruments to run. I mean, there's a little bit of uncertainty on my end. I was busy trying to get this to start working regularly. So it really was, I think I tended to make it a little bit more, well, I don't know, not more complicated than it needed to be, but oh, yeah, so what I was working on, I don't think there's really too much of a problem with them getting this part done. It's fairly straightforward. When you finish the ESS, you get the 14 daily instruments. They were getting that. I think that was working for them. I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to ask her when I talk to her. But there was an issue that when you finish this, how did you get this to run? And the answer to that was in the syntax, which is always, even in coding, the problem is how do you exactly say something? It's a language. It's like if I go to Poland and I have to speak Polish, I don't know exactly how to put the words together. So in this case, I just said daily instruments is saved. And then how do I get that ESS survey sent out for that ESS instrument? So based on whatever logic it takes to have that sent out, the link that was not showing up, and this was the problem, the link was never showing up. They were using the survey link, survey link smart variable. So if I find my surveys and I look at my survey link, the syntax is a survey link and then the instrument and then what custom text you want. So the first mistake that they were making, and again, understandable because it's one of those things it's easy when you understand, but not so easy when you don't understand. They were just dropping the instrument out of this. So survey link is a smart variable there should be an instrument name here, but they just put in the what's the word I'm looking for? The custom text that they wanted to show, the alias. There's the word. All right, so they wanted their alias and what to show. So they were missing this, first of all, but it still wouldn't work. So, you're looking at this and thinking, you've got all this, but I know from experience that REDCap does not deal well in a longitudinal study without you specifying which event a link needs to be tied into. So once, and then if you look at the smart variables, it doesn't really go into that. You don't see anything here about longitudinal studies and how to do survey links with longitudinal studies. But you do have the events and how you put an event label or the event name, ARM numbers, all of this in. So, and it always is before the variable. So anyway, I took the survey link, I put the specific event in front of it, and this worked. So this would return every test that I made. It would display the link. It would display using the alias properly, and when you clicked on it. So unfortunately, since Gabrielle is not here, I can't confirm where we're going with this because there is more that she wants out of this. But anyway, I just think that it's a good example of a syntax issue in an alert. In their project, and this is my 2 cents also, in their design, they were setting up automated invitations. And to me, I always feel like the automated invitations could be best for surveys, and not necessarily if you're doing forms or sending out forms. Now, I mean, in her case, she's right in that she's doing a survey, but I think it's good to note it even says when the following survey is completed. So I think of automated invitations to be used when you are using surveys. Otherwise, you're building alerts and notifications to achieve that same goal. And notice, I mean, I know that you don't see the automated invitation unless you have a survey, but sometimes it's easier. I think it's at least easier to test on alerts and notifications. I find them more flexible. It may have a little bit more of a burn-in to feel really comfortable with them. I'm not sure. In fact, I've never really dealt with automated invitations. I found them a little limiting, but that could also be because I just never spent enough time with them. And, we don't really build many projects like that, so we don't have the experience like you all might. But in this particular case, I found alerts and notifications work great because it works with surveys and it works with just regular data entry forms. So anyway, it's a lot about more than you wanted to know, I'm sure. But anyway, that's as much for my team as it is for you, Carrie.